All right, hello everybody. This is the first sort of long form video that I've made. So today we're gonna build Tetris in WebAR and hopefully do it under 15 minutes. So we'll see how this goes. Just an overview here. On the left, I have the 8th Wall Cloud Editor pulled up. We have the code here, our files on the left, and then we have the simulator. And then on the right, I have ChatGPT o3-mini High pulled up. This is just showcasing a simulation view of what we have. We're going to be using A-Frame as a 3D framework. Those unfamiliar with A-Frame, it's a wrapper around Three.js and is really helpful to build 3D web-based experiences. So I'll kind of go over the prompt that I've written for o3-mini High currently. It's please create a Tetris game using A-Frame where the grid should be played on a standard 10 by 20 grid. Tetris pieces fall from the top of the grid. When the row completes, just like in the original Tetris, remove the row from the game and move the bricks above down. And then I want this to be able to work on a mobile device. So I'm asking it to enable touch controls. So swiping left or right on the device will move the piece left or right. Swiping down, I want that just to send the piece to the bottom of the game board, and then tapping, rotate that piece. And then I've just given it like a little bit of code of kind of how I wanted to organize the A-frame component, kind of with some custom schemas, like if I want to change the width and height of the grid, and then kind of the fall speed of the pieces themselves. This isn't a must to do, but I just kind of sometimes like to give it some schemas or attributes that I want to have, just in case I want to, easily manipulate or change this. So I'll send this through currently to give it a couple seconds here to think and just kind of get our sample project here. So this is just an A-frame world effect sample project I cloned from the 8th Wall project library. And I'm just going to kind of clean this up. This is just a default cube in here. I don't need that. And then I'm also going to remove this XOR tap recenter, which essentially just resets the scene when you tap it. I don't want that because we want to have the tap register the rotation of the object. And then I might move my camera out a bit further just so I can see the scene better. And then this is our app.js. So this is where we're going to be putting the A-frame component code, which we'll copy from here now that it's done. So we'll just copy. I'm specifically just going through this because I want to grab the specific function here. So essentially it looks like what it's doing is it's like has a function of creating each of the specific pieces, and then we have the component ourself called the game controller. So it looks like, the game controller entity it's given us as well. So we're gonna have to put this entity into our scene because this game controller, what this is calling this component we have to instantiate that into our scene. The only other thing I'm going to do is update the position here to maybe a 0, 10, 0, just because it's putting it in the center of the scene, which is good for, web 3D experiences, but I want this to work in AR, and the ground plane is y=0, so I want all the game board to be above that. So I'm just going to look at this, and I think we're good. 4 minutes down, so let's see what the initial experience looks like. And so what I did just there, so it looks like we have pieces falling down. So what I did just here is I just opened a new tab, just showcasing this experience in a 3D way. So it looks like these pieces I'm just swiping the mouse left and right to be able to move them. I can click to rotate, which is cool. And maybe we'll try to get I don't know if I'm gonna get 10 in a row. What I do want to do is add a visual grid here, so maybe we'll do that. You add a visual grid to the game board. I'm trying to think what else we need. Let's just do that, because it's hard to kind of see where these pieces are being placed. And maybe we'll move up the game like just a little bit. Cool. Yeah. So, I mean, it's crazy just after one prompt, like we're already kind of getting like all these pieces, and the rotation, everything is working well and they're falling correctly. I know I tried this like 2 years ago, and just to get to this point, like took like 10 prompts and a lot of going back and forth. So the fact it's getting all this in one go is pretty absurd. So, all right, let's just get that grid here. So it's easier to kind of see what we're doing. So I'm going to save and build. This simulator is, well, it'll be helpful on the phone once I have my phone connected here, so I'll showcase that in real time. But this simulator is kind of hard to see, but this is cool. So now we got kind of everything on the grid working as expected. Okay. So let's just try to get 10 in a row here. Okay, I think we got this. So, oh, we didn't get that one. There we go. Cool. So we have 10 in a row. But it just disappears really quickly. I mean, it's cool that it's everything working and we get that. Okay, let's see. We get like 2 right here. Okay, so that's sick. Before removing rows, can we highlight them white to indicate a row of 10? And then also, can we move the grid game board up 1 unit? A little bit above the ground. So what's funny is, I actually didn't know they were already doing this in the component. I actually manually moved the position of the game board because I thought I was placing it at 0, 0, 0, but o3-mini high was already thinking about that, and I think they did it via code, so changing the position doesn't even do anything, which is crazy that they're already kind of thinking a step ahead of that. So I just want to have the highlight for indicating when a row of 10 is, and then also just want to move it up like 1 unit because it's kind of clipping a little bit on the ground here, which will in AR will show. But still, I mean, this is pretty damn sick. And I don't know how many hours this would have taken just actually code. So it's cool. What's also interesting is just kind of the way it thinks about of registering and creating these components. I've tried this, in the past, and it's just getting better and better. So, all right, cool. So what we're doing again is just copying all this code for the app.js file. So we'll do that. Paste it, save and build. And we're at minute 10 right now, so we'll try to get this done. Maybe it is actually position based. Let's see. I don't know what happened to the grid. So there we go. And then cool. So now it's looking good. It's above everything. So maybe the position does matter. All right. Anyways, cool. Let's see. Okay, now I'm gonna get 10 in a row. So it highlights. Okay. But it's not removing the white blocks. Okay. That's great. But now the white blocks. highlighted blocks, the white slash highlighted blocks are not removed from the game board. Fix. Okay, I mean, we're pretty much there. I'm just gonna get this last thing, so. Yeah, it's kind of buggy. I mean, it was working, but we'll see if it fixes that. Because just keeping the highlighted stuff, it's like they're gone, but they're rendered. They're still rendering. Cool. And as we wait for that, maybe I just show on the side here. So what I'm doing here is I can grab the QR code and like test this in AR as well. So I have this grid, like when I tap the screen, these objects are, and I'm swiping to put them down here. You can see the phone right here, but yeah, there we go. So we're gonna update this though. With the new code. There we go. Okay. New code. Again, it's pretty amazing, but not perfect. So it's gonna mess up like that, and you just go back and forth. So let's see. We'll reload this. We'll see. We got 2 minutes. I'm just gonna try to stop. And I mean, a lot of times just debugging here, like even this is just taking a while. I don't really want to use those pieces. So, okay. There we go. Okay, come on. Can we get this to work? There we go. So let's say. Okay. So, cool. It looks like everything is pretty much working. We got like a working, I would call this a working prototype. Now, I mean, next would be like adding UI, obviously. Let's try to get one more here if we can. Let's get this one. So yeah, cool. All right. So now that we have that, we have 1 minute left here, and I'll just kind of show this again. But we'll show this on my desktop, then maybe that's what we'll do. So what you can do is I have this QR code. And so what I can do is scan this QR code, and I'm just opening up the experience on my phone, and then you can see this grid right here. So that's what we have. This is an AR, which means I can rotate and move the phone. And then when I tap, I like move these pieces. So let's move this to the right. You know, certainly like an aesthetic choice is making these this grid white would make it look a lot better. But let's move that down. Move that over there. Let's just get one row here in AR. There we go. So there's kind of a 15-minute overview on how to get this Tetris game in AR. Hope you all enjoyed this video.